This is Butte, Montana. Had a fresh snow. It's in June 22nd, and they just had some fresh snow in the mountains last 2 days. Butte, downtown Butte's down there. There's a simulated mining town exhibit here. The street. Saloon. Union Hall. And this is a little church. It's a kitty cat under there. Hi, kitty. This is kind of cool. It's a Roman Catholic church made about 115 years ago. Let's take a quick walk in before the tour. And it has a church organ. This is authentic, so don't touch. This is called St. Patrick's Church. And you know that Butte, Montana attracted workers for the mines from all over the world, but especially Ireland. And in fact, Butte still has the most per capita Irish American people per capita of any city in the United States. So there's the altar. But I just wanted to show you. Confession where you sinners repent. This museum has a little memorial section of all the miners in Butte who passed. So this is like 1899, 1926. 1917, 1913, 1906. Eli Poincaré, 1910. And this, it even says what mine they were in. I guess it was a Lexington mine. Moonlight, Midnight Con. Look at all these people. Of course, there was a big fire in one of the mines in 1917 where I think I could look it up. I'll look it up and put it on the graphic. But a lot of people died because there was a fire in the hole and they couldn't get out.
To about an hour and 15 minutes, but it could last all the way up to an hour and 30 minutes. A little over a mile worth of walking, and there is some mud down there. You guys all okay with that? Yes. Perfect. I like it. Did you just make a little circle around yourself there? Oh, okay, nice. All right. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah. Keep all the bad spirits in one place. Mine, right? You don't come out with copper wire. You come out with these chunks of rock or ore that need to be refined or smelted to get what you want out of them. Especially here in Butte, all of our copper wrapped up in sulfides. So you have to crush them up so that you can smelt them. If you don't know what smelting is, basically a process in which you're utilizing the differing melting points and densities of precious minerals and waste material at a very high temperature. For copper, just a little bit under 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You turn it into like a molten lava. First, you're going to introduce a reducing agent, something carbon-based, a lot of times charcoal, then a flux, a lot of times limestone. You're able to separate out the more dense precious minerals from the less dense, did I do that right? The more dense precious minerals from the less dense waste material, which is called slag. Right here's a little chunk of slag. You want to pass it around, you can. Again, this is leftovers. We got some black bricks hanging out right here. Also leftovers, what you're getting rid of. You're going to see a few of these black bricks all around in the mine yard. And again, it's what you're trying to get rid of. The good stuff, what you want though, right here. These guys recovered as part of a reclamation effort over at the Parrot Mine here in town, and I'm told they're just under 80% copper. Wow. Now you might be asking yourself, Ken, why are you guys leaving big chunks of copper out here? They got to be worth something. And the answer is they weigh anywhere between 500 to 550 pounds. So if you were able to steal one, I'd just be impressed. All right, any questions about anything you guys see up here? All right, next we're going to go into what's called a dry. Anybody know what a dry is?
No.
Perfect. Nobody's going to say the opposite of wet. I usually get one in the group. No? All right. My last guy, we just put it right on top of that post there for me. Thank you. Today, like L1 balls, all that. I mean, there are some original buildings, and the churches are original to the time period across other places. This engine house and the head frame and the furnace and boiler I'm showing you two are all original to the site. So they were here when this was operational. Behind me here, this is a Nordberg double drum, double clutch electric hoist. The motor that ran it right there, that is a General Electric 450 horsepower motor, ran on 2200 volts of AC. So anytime I'm talking about the hoist, I'm talking about things coming in and out of the mine. Just remember, all done here by electricity. Let's sneak down here a little bit. I got a window right here. I need you guys to take a quick moment and look out the window. I want you to take note of how the cable from the hoist connects to the head frame. Now normally there would have been two cables. I'm going to move this.
So this is an air compressor for the blow air into the mines.
Yeah, right there. All those dots.
It's a leather belt.
Who got decapitated by that belt? Yeah.
Put a little rouge on there and you can sharpen your kitchen knife. Oh, yeah.
Ingersoll Rand compressor. Some major league equipment. This looks like a magneto. This is the dynamite.
Remember that was all done by candlelight, so it's even worse. This is absurd. Yeah.
Dynamite.
They did briefly move on to hand. All right, cages should be thought of. I should tell you first, in case it freaks somebody out. These might kind of pop or bow below you. Don't get freaked out. You're not going anywhere. It's about 6 feet of concrete below you. It's probably still going to scare someone, but just know you're going to be all right. All right, cages. Again, mine elevators. I want to be very clear about this. So today, we're going to go through a big old tunnel. It's what's called a portal. We're going to take what's called a decline, just a sloped path. It didn't exist back then. It's only about 20 years old. During the operational days of the Girl, anything coming in and out of this mine, coming in and out through this head frame. If it was too big to fit in here, you disassembled it. You brought it down in pieces, then you put it all back together underground. But I really want to show you guys is how rock's getting out of the mine. So you got these two rails that are inlaid at the base right there, right? That gave you the ability to take one of these ore carts, you push it off of the underground rail system full of rock onto one of these cages, you send it out of the mine. Men are coming out of the mine, they're getting off right here at what's called the collar. This is the head of the shaft or the base of the head frame. But if rock's coming out of the mine, it actually goes up above our heads to this garage-looking structure up here, what's called an ore house. Up there's a man waiting. He's going to grab the ore cart. He rolls it off of the cage. He brings it over. He dumps it into a set of ore chutes. All that rock falls down into a rail car, so it can be sent off to the smelters. Major smelters here in this area. The big one by far, Anaconda, Montana, but another up in Great Falls, Montana. Now after the tour, you guys want to get up there and check it out? You can. You probably already heard the voices up there. Set of stairs right here. They're accessible over there to the right. Of all the things you can do after the tour, easily top of the list in my opinion, getting up into the ore house. Definitely worth getting up there and checking out. Last thing about our head frame, we had, or our shaft I should say, we had an additional compartment added onto our shaft, what's referred to as a chippy. And this was used almost exclusively for getting more men in and out of the mine. Now this is not the chippy, this is just a grate covering up the compartment. A chippy is a cage. It's exactly one of these, just has a different name because of that different use. Our chippy, 65 feet below us at the moment. I'm gonna let you check it out at the end of the tour, but just remember, while it is a cage, just that different name because it had that different use. If you follow its cable, you can see it was ran by that hoist right there. That's a single drum Lily Imperial. This meant because we had 2 hoists, we had 2 hoist engineers. One running the double drum, another hoist engineer running this single.
It has experimental stuff down there too. It's really cool.
Okay.
Here's the mine entrance.
We're going down.
All right, guys, make sure we get all those lights on. You gotta get yours on. You gotta keep yours on still. You gotta get both of you guys, yeah. I gotta make sure they're on before we go.
Get my own
Yep,
light.
you're good, you're good. There you go, yep, you guys are all good. Perfect. Okay, real quick safety spiel. I think we're gonna be all right, but I just gotta give you the talk. They like literally make me give you the talk. While we're down there, no running, no roughhousing, right? Stay with the group. Make sure I can see you, make sure you can see me. Be nice to everything down there. Don't forget you're still in the museum, even though we're underground. That's basically it. On the way down, I'm going to lead the way unless I say otherwise. We're going to go down to what's called the 100-foot shaft station. From there, we're going to come right back up. We'll basically apex of that 100-foot shaft station. On the way back up, you guys are going to lead. I'm going to sweep, make sure everybody gets out of there. We're going to go down kind of quick. You're going to be crowded in areas. You might not get the view you hope for, but just remember, on the way back up, I'm going to allot plenty of time for you guys to check everything out a little bit more in depth. Also, grab some photos with things. So, especially photos that you want to be in the photos, let's save that for the way back. Sons of guns. Wow. All right, we're going to go down a little bit farther and see if my bolt's down here, and then we'll talk about mesh. But this is mesh around us here. I'll explain it here in a minute. All right. Just want to talk about these maps real quick. A little bit of terminology in case you're not all that comfortable with it. Vertical working, shaft, we already kind of talked about it before, right? Horizontal working, what we're going to be in for the most part today, what's called a drift. You go one dimension off a drift, what's called a cross cut. Then you also have what are called stopes. This is where you kind of go out in any and all direction and you're chasing those veins. For the most part, stopes are where you're doing your actual mining. What I want to show you is our shaft though. I already mentioned before, our shaft goes down 2,731 feet. And if you look at this map, you can see it's represented almost entirely in blue. That's because it's almost filled completely with water. Back when they were mining, they had large pumps turned on. They pump all that water out so they could get in there and do their mining. But when mining ceased, they turned the pumps off, and the water then resumed back to its natural levels. Here in the area, about 115, 120 feet below the surface. So this kind of yellowish part of the shaft at the very tippy top, that's the part of the shaft that's not underwater. Almost at the bottom of it right there is the 100-foot level, and that's where we're going to today. And that's why we only go to the 100-foot level. That's why anyone only goes to the 100-foot level. Water. Right here looks like the scribblings of a kindergartner with a new box of crayons, but it's actually all of the underground workings here in Butte.
Oh my God.
Any guesses on how many miles of underground workings we have?
700.
You got to jump that number up.
7,000.
Okay, you're so close. We're gonna end it there. 10,000. 10,000 miles of underground workings. Just an incredible amount when you consider the size of Butte. You already noticed it probably. Looks like chain link fence. To be honest, it's exactly what it is. But we call it mesh, and it has a purpose. While granite is very strong, the outer layers of it, when exposed to air and water over time, then they start to decompose. That decomposition causes large sections of it to start to fall away from the bedrock. These large rocks, there's a perfect nice one right there, would fall down onto the miners, damaging or even killing them. The large rocks were so dangerous, they got a nickname amongst the men. They called them Dugans. The reason why they called them Dugans is because we have a mortician here in town called Mr. Dugan. So it said, you got caught by a Dugan, you got yourself sent to Mr. Dugan. So mesh held up by these guys, what are called bolts or rock bolts. This specific type is a split set bolt or a friction bolt. Pretty simple how it works. You're going to drill a hole a little bit smaller than your bolt. As you hammer it in, that smaller hole is forcing this hollow area right here together, causing a pinch point, utilizing compression to keep the bolt in place, keep the mesh in place, but also add integrity to the area surrounding the bolt. So not only are these bolts keeping the rocks from falling down onto us, they're actually strengthening these workings, so they're making it that much stronger. Now, right here, I want to tell you about this guy right here. I'm not going to talk about it all that much, but I just kind of like to come down here and show you guys it. This is a post-mounted drill. You probably realized already, but not a lot of creative writers back then, right? So almost all the names of all the equipment, they tell you exactly what they are or what they did. This is a post-mounted drill because it's a drill that's mounted by a post. Yeah, you guys got it. You guys are quick. I like that. I want to show you how it runs. Now, we're not running this at full capacity. We run it right around like 75 PSI. It usually runs about 120 PSI. So a little over half capacity. It's still not quiet. but it's not nearly as loud as it usually is. I just like to give you a heads up. If you know you don't like loud noises, you want to plug your ears, now would be the time. But I don't think it's all that loud. You guys ready? Post-mounted drill, you got it. Somebody decided to put a rake right in my... Black tubing, what's called HDPE, it's high-density polyethylene. It's running the air and water they use to run equipment today, the 2-inch. That's air, you can see right there. Is the whip check on? Oh, no, it's just, I can't see it. There it is right there. Whip check right there. And then right up here, this is a water hookup, the 1-inch here. You know, you can tell because the water's dripping out of it. Keep on coming up. Right here. 65-foot shaft station. We're not going back there right now, but on the way back up, we're going to get back there. We're going to end the tour back there. We're going through this gate right now. Do me a favor, though, guys. Remember this gate. On the way back up, I'm going to say, hey, wait for me at that gate up there. This is the gate I'm talking about. Do me a favor. Don't come back through this gate without me. I got to do a count going down into the 100-foot. I got to do a count coming back up from the 100-foot. So it just makes my job easier if you wait for me at the gate. Come on through.
Yeehaw.
My GoPro guy first. You want to do me a favor here?
Yeah.
Right there where I'm shining my light, we call it a wall. That wall there. We lead the group down there. Wait for me. I gotta do a quick count. Only allowed to wait 3 of you guys a month.
If you lose me, I'll be okay.
Super unfair number. I'm doing really good this month.
Yeehaw.
The group has good life insurance. You don't pull me aside. Yeah. Shoulder to shoulder, pointed towards me. If you're short, feel free to stand in front of one of your adults. Not calling anybody out, but might have to slide down just like one more section. There you go. Perfect. That's perfect. That should be enough. You three right here, you guys can come right here. You'll be perfect. And then especially if they stand kind of perfect. That's perfect. You got all you guys in here. Careful of that airline behind you there, boss. I don't care about the airline, but I do care about you. So don't get smacked. Okay, all right, couple things I want to show you in here. One, U4 kind of cut off from right now, but on the way back up, you can get in here, you can check it out better. It's an overshot mucker. Just tell you how it runs real quick. There's 2 levers. One lever's moving the entire mucker back and forth on the rail system. The other lever moving the bucket back and forth on the let's start that over. The first lever moving the entire mucker back and forth on the rail system. The second lever moving the bucket back and forth independently of the mucker itself. That bucket goes down into a lane position, basically flat on the ground. You move the entire mucker towards all that rock you're trying to pick up. Once the bucket's full, you bring the bucket back up and you overshot all that rock into one of these ore carts. Again, feel free to get in here and check it out on the way back up. Another kind of cool thing, you guys want to get in there on the way back up, stand on the grate, pretend like you're running it for a good photo opportunity. Go ahead and do it. It looks awesome. Kind of funny to see, pretend like kids are running mining equipment. Makes me happy. Next here, guys, I want to show you guys some veins down here, but it's going to be hard for you guys to see the actual veins. You can get in there a lot closer on the way back up, but I like to pass this around so you can kind of just check it out in person. That pink stuff down there is kind of a crystalline formation down there. That's what I'm showing you. But the vein runs through here, guys, right through here, and veins are kind of, especially in our mine, they're in the background. So you got to kind of look beyond what I'm showing you. But it runs right through here, again, pink stuff. All the way through there, nice band running right through there, then it kind of goes down all behind you guys. To be clear, this orange stuff is not what I'm showing you. That's a deposit of iron that has oxidized. For your Jeopardy question of the day, does anybody know what the day-to-day term for oxidized iron is?
Rust.
Good job, yeah.
Rust.
Good job. I heard it over there too. But the pink stuff is rhodochrosite. Now, rhodochrosite is a manganese carbonate, so it is manganese. Back in the day, manganese used primarily in things like the hardening of steel. Today, used in things like industrial-sized batteries, also in like cone crushers for crushing up other rock. But rhodochrosite specifically, big use for it, especially the good stuff like coming out of Colorado. They like to just polish up and use in things like jewelry. Now, there is another vein, a much more important vein. It's actually the single most important type of vein in our mine. It runs all the way through here, comes up above our heads. It's this kind of dark gray, almost bluish black color running through here. Goes again, you can see it right through there, all above our heads. That is a lead sulfate known as galena. The reason why galena is such a big deal, lead and silver, they tend to be buddies. So galena was the vehicle in which we were getting our silver out of this mine. Last mineral I should show you guys, another deposit. This neon green, almost yellowish stuff. It's a green octite. It's a cadmium sulfide. It's leached its way out of the rock, oxidizing, becoming a cadmium sulfate. Oh yeah, you got it exactly right, Dad. Good job. And the reason I like to tell you guys about it, it's technically toxic. Now you'd have to consume it, and you have to consume an impressive amount of it for it to become an issue. But if you found a way to consume enough of it, it'll give you digestive issues. Plainly speaking, it'll give you diarrhea. So unless you're looking for a cheap cleanse, I recommend no licking the rocks while you're down there.
Don't lick the rocks, okay?
We get a couple chunks for the road.
Yeah, you go, yeah. I've always thought about marketing it, right? Yeah. All right, reach up, turn those lights off for me. I want to show you guys what it's like to work by candlelight. If you clicked your light once, you're going to have to click it twice to turn it off. That's going to get better, I hope. There it goes. Okay. So, do you guys remember what that very wise and handsome tour guide told you above ground? Ridiculous, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, here's a bit.
Okay, I'll grab the sledge.
Yeah, right. You got it right. A man with a very large hammer is going to be aiming for this bit while I'm holding on to it.
Oh.
And if that isn't bad, it gets even worse. The end of the bit. Hard to see, right? So they came up with a system. These guys are actually holding their bare thumbs over the edge of the bit because they claimed your thumbnail provided a little reflection, a little added gleam coming off of this candle.
Oh, you're kidding.
It gave that man with a very large hammer something to aim for. The idea being, hopefully you move that thumb out of the way before the hammer hit. They had a system for this. These guys, they're working in rhythm. Some of these guys even singing songs to keep that rhythm. They move that thumb out of the way, almost like a dance or something. And it did work surprisingly well. I know a lot of you are thinking, how many countless thumbs were lost to this process?
Right.
And while the number is certainly not zero, it's far less than you're probably imagining. If you get a chance, you go online, you check out something like YouTube. You can look up double jacking mining competitions. You get an idea of just how well these guys did their job. It's actually kind of surprising. So while we're for sure going to break some thumbs, these guys did a much better job. The other good news, you took turns, right? So you weren't hammering all day or you weren't holding the bit all day. So if a guy busted up your thumb, you got a chance to get even designs. This specific type is what's called the raised stope. And these were utilized heavily here in Butte. One big reason, gravity. Right here, what's called a tugger, or a pneumatic or a piston hoist. You're sending your drilling and blasting equipment up there. You're doing your drilling and blasting inside that stope. You have an ore cart waiting right here. You send all that loose rock down the ore chute. So you're having gravity do the hard work of loading that ore cart up for you. Check it out as you go by. Sadly, no climbing. But that is, right? But that is where the miners would climb up so they could get their work done.
Way up there.
So how far up is that just like a little cavity or does it?
Yeah, just a small cavity. And the stopes do get much bigger than what you're looking at
Okay,
right
I was
there.
just curious, like how far they keep going.
They'll go as far as they need to, and sometimes they'll even double stope, where they'll set up another one and go in a completely different direction.
wow.
They can send their rock down.
Just wherever they find
Yep.
the ore, right?
Yeah, exactly right. It's decided by what they find. You guys up front, do me a favor, come down, kind of fill in right here. Uh-oh. Hi, Emily. Kind of coming right over here, right over there. I want to tell you guys about some safety signs real quick. So, the safety signs, you might have already seen a few along the way, but I like to talk about two specifically. They are a poster. All the safety signs you've seen so far are poster boards. So they're mock-ups, but they're mock-ups of actual safety signs that existed. The two I like to talk about, the first one's right here. It's kind of funny. We talked about those jackleg drills. A greenhorn, a new guy, would make the mistake of showing up to work, straddling one of those jack legs. Problem is, it caught funny, it kicked back. You're going to have a bad time. Yeah. What makes it a high-level safety sign, though, the reference in the top right-hand corner, his thought bubble, it says Sultan's harem. I guess Sultan or king's concubines looked over by men known as eunuchs. So it's saying, if you straddle one of those jack legs, well, you're going to become a eunuch. For my youth, if you don't know what a eunuch is, great question for your dad on the ride home.
Right.
Right here, there's another sign. They actually removed it. Too many people complained about it. I should probably quit talking about it for that exact reason. But I think it perfectly conveys how different the times have become. So for purely historical purposes, or educational purposes, I'm going to tell you about it. It was a guy. He was running a piece of equipment. He's accidentally running over a fellow miner's foot. Simply enough, at the bottom it says, distracted driving causes accidents. No big deal, right? But the thought bubble above his head, what's distracting him? It's a naked lady drinking beer. And this was an actual safety sign in the workplace. For sure doesn't fly today. All right, we're going to sneak around here to the 100-foot. We're going to talk about it real quick, then we're heading back up. Position is where you have like these layering of decomposing granite. It caused a lot of like side pressure. It caused some bowing in these caps. I should be telling you what these are. These are caps. These are posts. Forward to backwards. Those are girts. Anything that's laced in between is either lacing or legging. You can call it either one. But these caps, the original started to have like a bow in them. They pulled them out, knocked down any of that loose rock, went back in, bolted everything up. Now they're coming back in. They're setting all these timbers in here. So once they get all the rest of this lacing done, so right now you can see the rock in between the posts. When they're done, that will be all laced up, so it'll be wood the entire way through. We'll be able to bring our tour groups all the way up to that shaft.
Great.
So this is what they're doing. And I already told you about Nathan. You heard him up there running the mill. They're milling this Doug fir right here on site, which I think is awesome. So they're taking like literal trees and milling them down to the sizes they need and bringing them right down here. One kind of interesting thing, I'm not a lumber guy, so this took me by surprise. They're not doing any type of treatment on these. Guess they don't need to. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Last bit of terminology for you. So a lot of people are like, man, if you look at some of these, you're like, there's barely anything holding those on there. But this is a great example of what's called a horn. You can think it was like a joint, right? So there is a lot more. It's not just this that's holding it. You got that right there. And then these kind of interlock on each other. All right. Any questions? Oh, the last thing. Two things. Right through there. That's the opening towards that UMEC boys side. University side. Then, right there, kind of behind my guy with the GoPro there, there is a jack leg. Oh, two jack legs, it looks like. So right where I'm shining my light here, if you look at me, I'm moving the light around. Now, there it is. Yeah! Those are it. All right, you guys start making the way back up to that 65. You want to grab some photos on the way back up. You want to check things out better on the way up, you can. But what's the rule on the way back up?
Don't go past the gate.
Don't go past the gate. I love it. I recommend turning your lamps off if you want to be in photos. If you find you can't get a good photo, I'm going to take your photo at the 65, and I will make sure you get a good photo.
I got a few.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go back up.
You might have some other suggestions.
Being a miner would be a pretty hard way to make a living.
Door's gonna open up below you. Below you, yeah. I'm just kidding. It's gonna make an annoying noise and freak everybody out. Loud noise coming. Nailed it. You want to get in here now that you know what it does? No, still. All right. For your photos, guys, you get on this thing. It's totally safe. It's not going anywhere. When you're on here, click those headlamps off. We're gonna have the flash on your cell phone do its job. This means onlookers. Have you guys click your headlamps off as well, or turn yourself around, point your.
And that's the end of the mine tour. It's really cold down here. It's like 45 degrees.